Hello, my name is Cherika, and today I will explain to you how to apply the creative teaching, problem solving, and critical pedagogy in social studies teaching and learning process. Let's moving on. So in this presentation, I will explain to you three topics, which I already stated before: the creative teaching, problem solving, and critical pedagogy. Start from the creative teaching. So, what is creative teaching? Creative teaching does not mean that the teacher is being creative and that's all. The creative teaching is when the teacher are able to teach outside the box. The creative teaching requires the teacher to teach outside the box to find a way that they never think about it before. And the objective of creative teaching is to promote the students' creativity through the lessons. And we cannot live without technology, right? So that's why we need to involve the ICT in the learning activity. And the last one is the learning activity will be boring if the teacher didn't add various media in the lessons. Maybe they can choose the different media, materials, method, make variation, and everything. The second one is problem solving. Next, what are the steps of problem solving for social science? Start from number one is the identifications of the problem. The teacher need to set the problem solving case that's suitable with the learners and make sure it's doable. Of course, it needs to be in accordance with their grade level, and at the same time, the students must fully able to understand and divine what are the problems that they are dealing for. The second one is the setting of the framework. The students and the teacher need to be able to set the framework. How do they will solve the problem? What are the methods? How will they get the results? How will they conclude it? And what are the sources? The third one is practice applying it. Apply means the executions. Apply it. Um, don't forget to collect data. How is the process? Is the method working or not? Is it suitable or not? Will the problems be solved or not? And the last one is evaluation. This is the most important. You need to evaluate the whole process and to find the weakness or what you need to improve. And then you can increase your problem solving skills for the next case. Next one, what is the key points of problem solving in social studies? So number one is the role of teacher. The role of teacher is changing, right? In this day, the teacher are the mentors, the coach or something like that, instead of being the one who teacher centered, who give the knowledge and everything. The second one is be open minded to your students' opinion. If they can deliver their thought, please don't judge it too quickly. It's a good thing if they can present what they have, and you need to appreciate that. Number three is transfer skill. So transfer skill is more important rather than you transfer the knowledge or making your students memorize what you memorize. So in transfer skill, for example, you ask them, you tell them how to search the result, how to get the results from the sources, how to search the trusted sources, like that instead of telling them like spoon feeding. The fourth one is the prior knowledge. You need to activate your students' prior knowledge to make the problem solving easier. Moving on to the critical pedagogy. Well, actually, critical pedagogy is new to me. So, the definition of critical pedagogy, as what Moczynski defined, it's a teaching approach. It helps the students to position themselves according to their own belief and let them be free to express their own perception. And then it question and challenge the domination, belief, and practice the dominant issues. How critical pedagogy looks like in social studies subjects. So I will tell you the main points of critical pedagogy in social science. The first one is the student must be fully able to understand the problem solving case that they are facing for, so they will able to discuss it better and find the results more accurately. The second one is the teacher must build the meaningful engagement for the students. And the last one is you need to apply the politic naturally by the experience in the environment. Maybe you can use the daily experience that close with the students like that. Continue with the activity example. So what I have explained to you, uh, according to these three topics, and we need to combine it, and in creative teaching, uh, I will add the various activity, learning media, and more example and sources in the problem solving. I'll give them the problem solving case that's suitable, and the resource make sure the resources are available around them. And in the critical pedagogy, I want to ask the students to explain their point of view first, and after that, challenge them to look from the other point of view. Here are the examples as the results of considering that 3 points. So I want to teach about the social conflict. The material is the social conflict that happened in Indonesia, and this is for the sixth grade students. The approach will, of course, be problem solving, and the teaching method is student centered. What are the learning activities in the social conflict? So, the first step is to identify the problems. The teacher will ask intriguing questions to the students, such as, do you know what are the social conflict that happen in Indonesia? Have you ever watched TV? Do you find any issues that related with social conflicts like that? And the second one is to set the framework. The teacher must design the learning process and give the students clear instructions. For example, the students are assigned to search from the internet, interview people around them, observe the environment, or find the definition in the textbooks. The third one is practice applying it. This is the executions. Will the student be able to solve the process? Or the student still need help from you as the teacher? Or they are able to do it in a group work by themselves? And the last part is the evaluations. You need to evaluate the whole process to get to be able to conclude and uh, make it better for the next process. Here is the example of the scenario. So, like what I mentioned before, start from the identification part. Um, the students define that social conflict happen because the different culture that does not match with Indonesian culture and habits. So the second one, as what they searched in the internet, they found that the example of social conflicts are drugs, free sex, stealing, smoking, and including wearing too revealing clothes. So the learning design will be uh, explained in three parts. Start from the students start the internet, the definitions, and the second one, the students will observe their own environment. Is there any street sign, poster, or like warning in their places? The third one is the students must state their own opinions. Are they agree or disagree? And they will make a poster, to a campaign in the poster, how to solve the social conflicts. So the example of the scenario, how the execution will be like, start from the first step. The students, they have difficulty to find the meaning of social conflict because they doesn't have internet, or maybe some of them are not watching the TV, so they're not sure what's the definition. And then the second one is, yes, they do find the no smoking street sign, say no to drugs poster around them, and stealing is a crime, like the warning. And then they're also able to understand that wearing too revealing clothes are not in accordance with Indonesian culture. And the third one is, they say that they are agree that it's not a good thing. So they draw a poster and able to solve the problems very well. So the evaluations, according to the first, the point number one, some students are still having difficulties to find the internet sources, so the teacher must be able to provide the students with textbook sources. And then the evaluation number two, the teacher should repeat the explanations twice to make all of the students understand it better. So it's just the example of scenario. This topic might be fun if you really apply it, since it's really close with the issues that happen in Indonesia. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.